Hello, everyone. Welcome. What's in the Glass Digital Beer Streams? Gabs here. I hope you're doing well, guys. This is the 1st of March. What a special month. I'm sure wherever you connected from, if it's Italy, if it's UK, if it's London, if it's America, if it's Australia, wherever you're based, I know you understand how important is this month. My name is Gabs. I'm trying to be the best beer communicator I can. I've been working in the beer industry for 10 years. I've been doing a bit of everything, working behind the bar, in shops, in pubs, in tap rooms, and I think I can't stop to enjoy to have the opportunity to speak with people from this industry, from people that are working behind the bar, from people that are owning pubs and bars, wherever. It's just the beauty of communicate, because this industry is all about communications and just like link and connections. And I've been working on What's in the Glass since last year, around March and April. We've been doing a lot of live streams. We've been doing a lot of different live and shows, and Turning the Tide has been one of the most important projects that we did so far, which is our show that is going to expose the London drinking culture in all of these changes that we unfortunately had to, go through because the pandemic. And the Digital Beer Streams, which is what you're watching right now, is a show that started previously on Instagram, now move on Twitter and Facebook, YouTube and Facebook. And what we're trying to do is trying to give voice to the hospitality industry, to the beer people, and to everyone that are part of this industry. And if you're familiar with London and you understand the geographical split of London, you may understand that there are different areas, and each of these areas have different priorities, different look, different kind of audiences and people and cultures. And it's very interesting to see that some other areas receive a very big focus along the years, and some other ones still trying to be, trying to explore as much as they can their own local culture within the area where they are from. And definitely Twickenham is an area which many people heard about, many people know about. There are interesting, spots for people that are sport enthusiasts, for people that are looking for gigs as well, and also for areas which you could potentially try to survive in London without need to get an enormous amount of money every month, because probably we will find out the prices are a bit better over there. So to whoever looking for better life, maybe should consider that. And I love the fact that when I could have the chance to speak with Linda from the Brewery Market, she was really, really happy to meet me online. And we're going to drink something as well, very nice, which is today on my side is a New England IPA from Salt. Lovely brewery. I think I met a couple of guys recently, and I would love to find out more maybe in the future. For now, we will enjoy the beer. But in the meantime, please, if you can make sure that you can welcome Linda with me. Hey!
Hi!
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. Nice to have you here today.
Thank you.
We found out that we have friends in common that we met before. We
That's
just don't
right.
realize when and where.
Yeah, we can't exactly pinpoint the moment, but we know it was over a beer.
For sure, definitely. And I don't know if you would like to drink something as well tonight with me.
Actually, yeah, I do have a beer which I've just opened. It's a Wylam IPA. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
No, you can't download the future. I just love that can art on there. I love Wylam. I mean, Newcastle based as well. We don't get a lot of their beers in because it's almost like an exclusive club. I feel like to get a Wylam beer. We do get them in. We get 2 or 3 in when we're lucky, and they're just always on point. This one is delicious, really piney, which is great for an IPA. I love it.
Hey, let me put it this way. I was looking for something soft for a very special Monday because the 1st of March, because many of the reasons. And I was looking for nice, soft, fruity, super approachable. A touch of bitterness as well, which is always nice to have when you drink contemporary IPAs and pale ales.
Yeah.
And Linda, would you mind to present yourself to our audience today and a bit about the brewery market as well, and if it's possible about Peppa as well, which is just behind you.
Just there. Just having a little nap.
I can see.
So Brewery Market, we're a little bottle shop, tap room, sort of tasting room, and community space, we like to call it. We're based on Church Street in Twickenham, which is a really awesome historic street. There's this beautiful church at the end. It's gorgeous. They're partially pedestrianising it at the moment as well. So there's all these gorgeous boutique shops down the street. It's amazing. It's like you can literally a stone's throw from the river as well. So it's a fantastic area. Not far from Richmond, but I guess, like you said, Twickenham's primarily known for its rugby. But yeah, so we're a little bottle shop. We've got 3 fridges, we've got 12 taps, but we've only got about 4 of them on at the moment. We do online tastings, and we've got fantastic selection, like everything you could think of, like German beer, Belgian beer, right through to crazy impy stouts and barley wines. Who doesn't love those? We don't actually stock any wine, so we're only focusing on craft beer, and we've just stocked our first cider recently. So that's how, like, it's just craft beer. That's our focus. We're basically trying to encourage people to drink differently. So the big thing about Twickenham is it's fantastic for beer, like real ale. It's amazing. Like there's an amazing camera festival that every year there at York House. It's fantastic, but there wasn't any sort of craft beer representation. So Twickenham Brewery's been there, obviously. They're amazing. They do amazing, delicious ales, and they've started to do some fantastic IPAs as well now. And we've just got Jawbone recently opening. So we're just trying to offer something different to a local community that's just sort of pub based and real ale based. And we're on a little mission to help people discover craft beer.
I loved when I was checking your Instagram profile when you're saying that the only wine that you stock is actually barley wine.
Yes, that is our tagline.
Fair enough.
And some people come in and they like just stock like one wine or a glass of wine. It's like, look, tell me what you like, tell me what your flavors are, like what sort of thing do you normally drink? Like, give me 4 or 5 choices, like I give you a little tasting, and I bet you I can find something you like. And some people will just will walk out. But if someone walks in and tells me they don't like beer, that I'm like, you're our favorite customer. I want you to try everything.
That's lovely, and is the best way from a fact. I tried it many times. When you have this kind of silly approach at the bar, or when you are at the table and you have maybe like someone deciding already what to get. Can I have a beer and a wine? And I'm like, what beer you want? And also, can the wine potentially go and jump on, instead of having like the choice of one wine, you do have a choice of 100 beers. Would you mind to go for it? So I definitely understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think like people that love wine, that call themselves, or like a white wine or red wine, like the complexities of wine, it's infinite in beer. There's no way there's something out there that isn't going to match your palate. It's just people just associate these connotations of it being like so many. Like this one lady refused to drink it because she kept saying to me it was a man's drink, and her friend was like, "Oh, and you like cider? And I was trying to get her to drink a Little Earth Project, the ones that are brewed using the fermentation of the Africans. And I was like, honestly, you will not like you. It's perfect for you. Let's give it a little sip. She's like, no, I won't. It's a man's drink. And her friend was like, oh, you'll love it, Beryl, sort of thing. And then took her out the shop.
You see,
but the other lady came back and she bought a beer. So I feel like, and they were like in their 80s easily.
Sometimes you just need to push a bit more and try to get, in
a nice way, of course. Yeah, in a nice way. Yeah,
exactly.
We were just testing, but yeah, it was a funny reason not to drink it.
and as you mentioned, I know Twickenham from the strong camera and real ale culture. So I'm sure that you may had, a bit of, I don't want to say challenge, but you had to go through a couple of people telling them what is the fact about the keg beer, the cans. I'm sure you had a bit of work to do, right?
We have we do have people, I'm just trying to think, I've got so many examples. A lady that wanted to buy her dad a Christmas present, a mixed box of beers, but only bottled ales, you know, and we've got some. She says he really likes IPAs, and I was like, oh, we've got so many good IPAs. And I sent all these, and because they were in cans, she's like, he wouldn't drink them. It's such a shame. But she did come back later and get something for her boyfriend, so that was okay.
Well, what were you doing at the time? Like, do you think it's worth to go through the process and saying, look, a can of beer is actually safer, it keeps the beer better?
Absolutely. Yeah, all the time, always. And a lot of people, like, especially when we're talking to them face to face in the shop, we explain the benefits of cans, and because we also offer little mini crowlers at our shop as well. So, because for me, I was trying to answer some, as well as trying to sort of say to these people, you know, hello, you need to discover craft beer, you need it in your life.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to sort of solve some problems as well that people were saying that I'd met whilst I was out discovering craft beer myself. And one of those things was how quickly you'd open a growler, and if you don't want to sort of drink a lot in one time, how quickly it would go flat and you'd have to drink it, especially a 2 litre one.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a stout in there, you know, someone like me. But so we do these mini crowlers. So we sell a litre of beer but split over 4 cans in these 250ml cans. So it's the same cost as a crowler, but you can just have one of each thing, or you can mix and match them off the tap. So, because so many people would be like, I know it's so corny, but you know, I can't drink a whole one, or I like it, but I wouldn't drink a whole one. And just have a third, you know, just have this little can, it's perfect. And they're like, oh, actually I will. And then actually they come back and back and back with the person that was drinking 2 litre stouts, because they can just have a little one. So, you know, it works out.
Well, and it's not just the fact that, you know, you try different way to try to, you know, connect with the community. You had a big success to trying to making sure that the community was giving you, you know, love back. And I found out that recently you achieved 2, you know, beautiful goals, which I'm gonna ask you in a separate. First is the crowdfunding. How did it go?
Yeah, we did it. I couldn't believe it. I was never done a crowdfunder or anything like that before. We were all really nervous and wasn't sure that we wanted to do it. And none of us are super comfortable on camera. So
Look at you.
Where are the other guys? Hi, Alex and Dennis. But it was like we all broke some confidence boundaries, you know, doing that. It was amazing for us. And also, like, some of the feedback that we got, like, because you know, you see your customers, and we've got our sort of little VIP group on WhatsApp, and we, you know, community is a word that's bandied about, you know, what does it really mean? But for us, it's the people that we interact with every day, and these guys were sending us such most amazing messages. It was just awesome to know that they supported us, and they wanted to see us. And then some other people as well that we didn't even know supported us. And then the mayor gave us a little bit extra, and the next thing we knew, we were there, and we were like, yeah, we were super happy. Yeah, super happy. So it's really good, and I think it's going to be really great for Twickenham as well, in the area, to keep that little parade of shops going, because it's difficult on the high street anywhere at the moment, for sure.
100%.
It's so good.
Well, we were discussing before about how important it is to have, you know, support independent retail, support, you know, small businesses, and I think achieving what did you achieve with the crowdfunding, but in the same time also winning a very important award for the drinks retailing, you know, award. It's big.
Yeah, we didn't actually realize how big it was as well. We were like, we're not going to get it. Like that, we was up against like Kill the Cat and Trembling Madness, 2 massive names already. And we're like, nah, we haven't really got going yet, haven't really started yet. Nobody really knows us. And then we were just sort of filming it, and I nearly like fell off my chair when they said it. I just couldn't believe it. It's really awesome. It's awesome to be recognised, like when we're still so young as well. That was amazing. Yeah. So
West London.
Yeah, West London, massive. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's getting there. But
it is.
You see breweries, you see places. We recently, you know, interviewed the Dodo micropub, and Lucy was saying, check it out, West London, because you may haven't seen it all yet.
Yes, it's definitely developing. It's just like London itself is just so diverse anyway, but craft beer had to spread out. And I think even as far as, I mean, there's little craft beer bottle shops popping all over the place, not just like in the northern, like Leeds and Manchester, where most of these amazing breweries are, and London and East London, like Cornwall. Like I can think of Brighton and Hove. There's a brewery now. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's coming. It's
Wow.
yeah.
The
Sounds like a horror movie.
the excitement of knowing that we may going to have so much to play with very soon, and it just like doesn't, despite the fact how difficult is the time that we're living right now.
Yes.
I just want to see, forward there, and I know that I can expect beautiful events and collaborations, from the brewery market, and I know you did something in the past as well, like a lot, right?
Yes, yeah, we've done so many different things, like because we sort of focus on craft beer in the way, or I was saying like we focus on flavors, but I think like where you are and what you're doing also affects your experience of that beer and how it tastes. Like sometimes you see on like Untapped and those sort of rate beers, and it'll say, I had this beer 3 years ago, but it tasted so much better this time, and they haven't changed the recipe. And it's like, but I'm with friends, or I'm warm, or on a beach. So we sort of pair it with, like, we've done games nights, and we did we was a sort of poetical stage for a record store event. There was a big festival on our street from Eel Pie Records. That was amazing, and we had poetry, and we just suddenly everybody would stop, and there would be poetry, and people would be drinking craft beer. And we also collab with a company called Ale Hunters to do these online events as well, so you can have these virtual beer tastings, and we send out these little flavor packs, which I love, and people really have given us great feedback on. And it's just like a tiny little flavor of umami and salt, all bitter, sour. Break it down, you get 6 little packs in a flavor wheel, and we literally say, like, try, taste the beer, take a little flavor of, say, umami, and then drink the beer again and see how it changes the beer. And we're trying to encourage people to cook with beer, or to pair beer with a meal rather than just going for wine or gin and tonic to start. But there's nothing wrong with that either, because everybody loves a gin tea. So. But yeah, we're just trying to come at it from a different angle, rather than just saying drink beer, come and get drunk, or like try different things and spread your love. There's so many breweries out there that you can discover flavors at.
I love the fact that this is coming from an area where, as you mentioned before, probably the drinking culture was a bit rushed and quick, and one of the reasons for that, it could have been definitely the fact that people had to go to the stadium, they had to move, they had to go quick.
Yeah,
right?
got to get to the rugby match. Yeah, well, we're not actually allowed to. It's on our license. Open 2 hours before a rugby game and 2 hours after a rugby game. Okay. And in the beginning, we were like, actually, we were a bit annoyed about it. What can you do? Like, it's part of the cumulative impact zone in the local area. Fair enough. But there are people that want just have a little drink on rugby day and not be in a crowd of people where they're just like Guinness, 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 and they come out and then they're sick on the street. Like, and I felt like we were trying to combat that by offering this opposite sort of service. But it's managed so well, like when you see it locally by the local council and the police and everything, that you actually we don't actually even need to even risk our staff and our premises to open on those days. So I actually quite like it now. Yeah, it's a different thing. But we're still trying to get out there. I still give leaflets out on rugby days to say, come on, guys, try this.
They'll be back sooner or later. Yes. They'll be back. So
I've got this amazing nitro stout from you need to try.
I love that. And look, let me put it this way. When you have to consider so many different things to manage to have the place up and running in an area, as you said, where you have a strong local base of customers, and you want to do well. You have a great relation with the brewery as much as you have.
Yeah.
How do you approach a very hard time like the one then we've been witness of, like apart from the crowdfunding campaign, how was the actual changes and challenges that you had since day one of pandemic?
Well, to be honest, like we were totally discombobulated in the beginning. It was like we just reduced our hours down straight away because obviously we wanted to keep our staff safe and we didn't want to encourage anyone to come out. And then we just sort of actually just took a step back and waited for a little while to see what other people were doing in the area, what our local government recommended. We just played it really, really safe and very, very cautious. We don't have a great website at the moment, but it's actually been worked on by an awesome person at Hop Forward for us, Nick Law. So be prepared to see that soon.
Nice.
But so we couldn't really offer this. We couldn't offer an online outreach apart from speaking to people face to face, social, which is just word of mouth, basically digitally, and our customers that were coming in. But because we reduced our hours down, we couldn't really do that. So we quickly teamed up with Goodtill and we were able to offer click and collect pretty much straight away. And that's when, our customers, again, our amazing customers came back and said, I need enough beer to get me through the week. They were coming in and they really helped us cover the minimum. Do you know what I mean? We weren't making a profit. We weren't like doing amazing numbers or anything like that. We were just going through it and we couldn't have done it without them. So I think that just comes from just building amazing connections with people and helping them discover these new beers. But yeah, we went to a 1 in 1 out, slowly increased our hours, started to develop our online presence, and we offered virtual beer tastings, as I said, with Ale Hunters, and they just took off. We could barely keep up with it, and now there's a box shortage.
I know, I heard.
What's going on? It's crazy. But it's mostly like corporate tastings really that we do for groups and little beer clubs and stuff like that. But that's really been, that just basically enabled us to pivot really, basically. But I think going on to the future and looking through this, there'll definitely be, we'll definitely keep the virtual beer tastings going, I think, as well. And we're just going to have an outside seated area, like a protected area. But yeah,
this is what I was wanting
we got to
to
play
ask
it
you.
safe. Yeah.
Because everyone is have this kind of division between what happened and what will happen. And it feels almost like there are two different dimensions which they're not going to touch with each other. I indeed believe these two dimensions are going to touch and they are going to influence each other. So the fact that you said you keep thinking or you keep planning to do, digital events, or even like thinking that some of your, of revenue will come from boxes that you're sending around London or around the UK, it means a lot. Yes,
it does. Yeah. And I think like, it's such, we're not trying to compete, because if you think about online, how many places can you get craft beer? Like we're not trying to sell. If you want to buy our beer online, it's mostly our local guys or people coming in through the area, or some people on Brewer's Eye that might have seen us locally. They'll come in. That's great. But we're not trying to we're not trying to compete with other bottle shops, not trying to compete with anyone. We're just trying to help people discover something different. And the fact that we're doing it as a tasting, and that's the only thing we really sell, like that we're really selling like crazy. I think that says something different about us. We're just not trying to disrupt the market or anything. Just quietly tiptoeing in the back door.
I would love to give a big shout out to Paul Davies, which I know is the one that was running the tasting, and is a legend.
Yes, he is a legend.
Like the amount of knowledge for every single beer style and stories associated
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's very inspiring.
And also big shout out to Paul, because when we first started doing it, we like learning, we just priced it wrong, and he was working for like minus £7.50. I was like, actually, Paul, you owe me money. No, it wasn't, but like it just was work for the first like maybe 10-15. He maybe made a tenner. So he was just doing it because for his love of the message as well, and the support for us, and just the love of the industry, I should say.
Well, this is the people that we are. Again, we just want to do well, and again, the satisfaction of seeing someone's eyes, shining for how beauty is what they're drinking from the glass is above everything else. And
that is it. You can't beat that as well. And just seeing someone's face when they're like, oh no, I won't like it, and you hand them like a sour, a pink, like something from Collective Arts or something, like a pink grapefruit or something, and or mango sour, and they're like, oh, that's amazing. Like they just said, is that beer? And like, yeah, you want one? They're like, yeah. And then you say, do you want a small or a large? Because we do 1/3 or 2/3.
Right.
And they're like, what's that? And they're like, large. Always.
I remember the first time I was giving out Magic Raw Salty Keys rather than Calypso from Siren.
Nice.
The people were like going mad.
Yeah, yes. Siren, oh my gosh, they're so popular. They've been a great support to us as well as a brewery in the beginning, and we did a collab with them on a growler as well, which was amazing, which really helped us. But yeah, they're so popular, and they're so popular, and they feel local as well. You know, they're like a half an hour drive.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We just mentioned right now, if there are some people that doesn't know these beers, these are like the getaway for sour within the craft beer in the UK. So if you're ever going to have a chance to see the Siren Calypso or the Magic Raw Salty Kiss, then you're going to understand some of the, the fire starter for the sour movement, I would say.
Yes.
And did you make any plan apart from, as you said, the online events and digital events and keep pushing like this?
Yeah, we did actually. We sort of we've got a bit of a different marketing strategy. It's out there, so it's not something I need to hide. There's this thing called Zigzag. I mean, you can buy the books. The book's called Zag. I can't think who it's by now, but you can look at it, I'm sure, on whatever website. And it's about doing the opposite of what everybody else is doing, but still fulfilling the problem or the needs of the bigger picture. So like with the pandemic, obviously everybody's going online, everybody, and like closing down their local shops and just loads of online shops showing up. So we just decided just to like focus on our local community only, but still do a little bit of online stuff, but that not be the focus, just to go really, really hyper local. So we started doing online events, just stupid stuff like trying to play beer pong and not successfully for our customers one night, and doing a beer quiz and stuff like that. And we're on this thing called Twick Traders, which is like, it's kind of described like an Amazon, but it's only our local shops, and they deliver on a little bike. It's awesome. There's a picture of Alex on the local delivery bike on our Instagram feed. Lovely. So it's like we're still doing the online thing, like making it easier for people to shop from home and solving those issues and click and collect and all of that, but only focusing on our core crew and doing free delivery within 2 miles. Like put Alex on the insurance on the Mini, and he goes out delivering with with Dennis, and they've got a little card reader, and they sort of do distance like that. It's brilliant. So
the implementation of different solutions then can make, I don't know, like customers more engaged in a way. It's a very interesting point,
because there's a fulfillment, I think, as a human being that you get from relationships. And when you're trying to sort of help people discuss, like, it is amazing when I remember when I was just thinking, the first thing that turned me was, it was a Little Earth Project hedgerow sour. I was like, holy, what is this madness? Like that minute, and you just want to share that with other people. It's so good. And we're just trying to find a way to do that, basically.
I love that. Well, let me put it this way. If you see what's going on now, considering the recent annunciation that we received from, from the Prime Minister and consequent kind of comments from everyone, Twitter, Instagram posts, and the main question that I'm going to ask from now on is, how do you feel about it?
So the way that the sort of decisions they've made with hospitality,
like by that, how do you see the future of our industry? How do you see it going on?
Yeah, there's already, there's been a fundamental change to it. It's never going to be the same again, that's for sure. We're already losing venues. I remember in central London for sort of gentrification, and then the ones that were just hanging on now have been decimated by this pandemic, and there's just a few people just hanging on with the skin of their teeth, basically. And then I saw that actually Lucy was vandalized while she was closed and things like that. It's just people taking and seeing opportunities. So there's that damage to deal with, and then you've got to look into the future. So you've either got to start afresh, or these people have to do something different with very little resources, and it's going to be really, really challenging for sure. But I think what's going to happen is very, very gradually there's going to be an explosion of people wanting to support businesses that they can in hospitality, whether it be restaurants, pubs, micro pubs, bottle shops, off licenses. I think the shop local is going to explode. Yeah. But I think it's going to happen gradually because, the way that the government have staged it is, people being able to just meet one person and shops opening and outside drinking, and then eventually 21st of June inside. It's still going to be limited numbers. I get that. And there's still going to be safety and procedure, but they're sort of drip feeding it back to us. But I think people are going to pack it out. I think people are desperate to have interaction, and they just want someone else to cook their dinner for, you know what I'm saying, rather than Deliveroo. They just want someone to know it's just come from a kitchen, and they want to chat to the waiter, and it's not just about going and drinking pints and pints and pints. It's actually, I want to look round Miss Pretty on Church Street because she's got some great little candles, and I want to smell them before I buy them. It's about that, it's about the experience. And
I found out asking a bit around pubs that are really popular. They already started to accept bookings for April. What were the numbers of the actual bookings right now? Yeah, I couldn't believe there are days and weeks which are already gone. Yes. Even if they're doing like an hour and a half for 2 hour slots. They're full, and a number of pubs in this area have reported that are going to be opening. A particular favourite of ours is the Sussex. They're taking bookings. They've got this enormous tent in the garden. It's awesome. They do fantastic craft beer and a great burger as well. So you can just sit out the back there. Oh my goodness. We've already booked our table. We can't wait. So we're one of those people. I can't wait to sit outside Brewery Market with a glass in my hand in my own little sort of, we've got these cute little sort of gazebos for people and these little tables. So I just literally cannot wait to sit out there with Pepper, who is now, can you see her? Completely I love that. Well, let me put it this way, Linda. I made you run from a topic to another topic, and I understand. I knew I could have done it with you because you're so nice and passionate as much as I am, and you follow me in this path. Yeah. But before we go in too close to 40 minutes, which is normally what I think that the show should go for, and over it. This month is a pretty special month because we celebrate, female all over the world in every single side of it. But I would love to, concentrate a bit more on the industry that we're part of. And if you would like to spend, a few worthy sentences, how many do you want, saying why we should do this, why we should really, like manage to, maximize the celebrations in these days, especially this time, what would you say?
I think, oh God, that's a tough one. You thrown that at me, haven't you? I think
we got an entire month, of celebrations, and it's starting today with you. So
I think, for women to be in beer, it's really important because yes, it was a male-dominated industry, but in the beginning, it was a woman's. She was the brewster. She would take it from the land naturally. And I think if you describe it to women that way, actually, it's more appealing. But also, it's not about who can do the heavy lift or anything like that. And women make the best beer as well. There are so many female brewers out there that I would love to list. And we always try to highlight those beers in our shop as well. But I think, it's such a rewarding industry, the culture. I would welcome anybody into it, to be honest, but more women would be fantastic.
And especially because, as I said before, talking from a male point of view, maybe sounds like unusual. Then I celebrate this much the women within the industry, but I had the best managers teaching me not just the culture but the language, how to become an adult in the best way, as much as my mom or whoever else female in my life did, and they were part, and they still part of the beer industry. And again, I think sometimes it's really good to give not just the credit but the merit, like the real. I don't know, can I say, like you mentioned before, female brewers, right? Burn Mill. I did have some of the most amazing IPAs.
Yes, I mean, Bintel, who can argue with that?
So and in the same time, someone then can't drink beer anymore.
Yes, but have her wheat allergy, still brews the most amazing beers. And the fact that she came up with this wonderful idea about International Women's Collaboration Brew Day is fantastic, and it really, really works. Like there's going to be an online event this year. I think there's going to be a live stream from the Instagram feed. And I know there's so many other breweries involved, and some of them have brewed beer in advance, so you can drink the beer on the day. And some of them are brewing beer, later on the day live. I know Crafty Beer Girls as well are doing a collaboration brew. So it's just going to be fantastic. Yeah, I feel like it's one of the best years ever, even though none of us are actually going to be together.
Wow, yeah, exactly, because this is the extra importance for this year's celebration, and it's going to be a remote one for bigger reasons.
Yes,
but in the same time,
that just means we can reach more people.
Exactly.
There's so much more positivity about it. Like we were talking about this earlier about how Zoom has been actually, people are going to be so sick of doing it for work and stuff. It's going to actually make more people go outside. It's going to drive people outside. Like I think even though it's been awful, this pandemic, and it's dreadful, I think there's going to be a positive change to society from it as well, because people miss each other and they know what the importance of that is. So, and if they can come over craft beer, come together over craft beer, then hey, that's great.
Oh, I'm telling you, and I keep saying all the time, in the UK, at the end of the day, the situation has been dealt very positively by the female within the industry. There are other places, even Italy, where I'm from, which there should have been much more attention to the needs of everyone in the industry, female too, and also I really wish that when the people are going to go back to the bars and pubs, they are going to stop to have some silly, attitudes referring to bartenders or female behind the bar, because that wasn't one of the most annoying thing I had to be witness of.
I can see that. I think people are going to be appreciate it more, like you guys, and what you're risking as well, going back as well. So, you know, there's obviously a lot happening still in the news. We saw some new variants coming out. So it's not like it's never going to be a problem. It's not like it's going to go away. Yeah. But you guys are risking something by being there. And I think there's a respect needed for people in hospitality, as in all of the front people that are dealing with it, to enable Joe Public to go out and have a beer at the end of the day.
And maybe tipping as well would be an interesting, you know, proof of love and respect to people that are behind the bar.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, again, I think you know, we managed to go through so much, Linda, even if it's just in 40 minutes. And I really think we should open our own channel and entertain people about every topic in the beer and the hospitality, because we could do it. And what's the plan for tonight? What are you gonna do?
Probably have to. I've still got some work to do, I think. I've still got my day job, and you know, hopefully that's still going well, and they're doing great. So bit of extra work for BM tonight, and then a couple of beers, and yeah.
Well, I do have a run very shortly because the wife wants to keep me fit, and I think she's doing well with it. And then a couple of beers and a couple of beer work as well. But I don't mind to work a bit around things if I manage to have beautiful chat with people like you. It's been very, very nice, Linda.
You're welcome. It's been great. Thank you.
My pleasure. And I'm sure it's gonna be watched from people even after the live, because you know we had a beautiful amount of people watching us so far and put likes and comments. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been
thank you. Thank you to everyone watching.
Please, I can't wait to see you in Twickenham, and I hope it's going to happen very, very soon.
There's definitely a beer for you.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much again, and enjoy, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. We do have beautiful, beautiful guests this month, so check it out as much as Linda. Take care.
Thank you.